I feel like 5 minutes you got here.
Like an half an hour, what? It's okay, I didn't think this was real.
Well, I
everybody, and welcome to week 13 of baby Theus' updates. He is now 13 weeks old, and he will be 3 months on the 7th, which I think that is Friday, so in just a couple of days. This is Wednesday. I am doing my update. He's actually 12 weeks and 6 days, so he will be 13 weeks tomorrow, but by the time you see this, he will be 13 weeks old. I did weigh him today. I was a little concerned last week about his weight gain, and I'm still not completely comfortable where we're at. I put him on the scale, and he was 12.2 last week, and I got only 12.4, so I was like, okay. But as always, when I do get a funky weight that I'm not happy with, I take him off the scale, turn it off, turn it back on, just to make sure that it's not any kind of error. And when I put him back on the scale a second time, I got 12.10, and then he kind of fidgeted a little bit, and I got 12.6. So the 12.10 is acceptable, is great. So I'm hoping that that's where he's at. We usually do these videos earlier in the morning, so I don't know if that makes a difference on how much he's ate and pooped and all that. But we're going to continue to work on make sure he gets what he needs to get. We have had a rough week. A strange turn of events. I got a new pump. It's a double electric pump, which I'm really excited to get. Works really well. Nice little weekend. Normal type of stuff. Things were back to normal because last week kids were out of school Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and my husband didn't make it to dialysis on Wednesday due to the cold snow that didn't happen mess. But he went on Friday, and we were back to normal. And my husband had an uncle that sadly passed away, so we had a funeral to go to on Saturday, and a lot of family members who had not met Theus has got to finally meet him, and that was great. Sunday we went and had dinner with my mom as usual, and we came home. My week has been crazy. By the time you see this video, last week's video will be up, but as of now, last week's video is not posted, and I will explain why. Sunday night we came home. My mom had some issues that she was dealing with, so she called me, and we were on the phone, I don't know, until midnight, I want to say, and husband and I were maybe up till 1 or so. We finally settled down and went to bed. He went to go eat a sandwich. He was hungry, so he went to go get a late night sandwich and went in the living room and fell asleep. And about 3:30 a.m. he had tried to call me, and I was sleeping, and my ringer was not on, so I didn't hear the phone. And so he stumbled into the bedroom and said that he wasn't doing good. He couldn't breathe and very disoriented. I kind of sat up and went like, what, do you need me to call 911? And he's like, yes, call 911. So at that point, I'm like, wait, what? You want me to call 911? Okay, this is not just, I don't feel good. So I reached for my phone and I called 911 as I asked him to hand me his phone so I can call my mother to try and get her out here to help with the kids. So I talked to the operator. She asked some questions like our address and is he turning blue, was he conscious, those type of things. And told my mom, I'm calling 911 for Darren, he's not doing good, please get here now, I need you, and hung up on her. And they told me to turn on the porch light for them. He was sitting in the computer chair in our bedroom, and what's you? You're so fussy. You're so fussy. Try the plug. Oh. So anyhow, he was sitting in the computer chair in our room, and I asked him, could you possibly make it to our living room? And he said, no, I cannot. He kept saying, I hope they get here soon. It's getting worse. It's getting worse. I'm walking around with this little guy pacing. I do see the ambulance lights at front of our house, so I opened the door, and they asked me for his driver's license. So I dug those out of his pants pocket and handed them to him. And they asked him to sit back. He couldn't. His oxygen level was like 70 something because he was having trouble breathing. They put some oxygen on him, drug him down the hallway, and got him, because my hallway kind of wandered, like it's zigzagged. So they couldn't get a stretcher back there, so they just kind of drug him on the chair down the hallway, and then they put him on the stretcher and took him. And I was standing in my living room with this baby. My husband was just whisked away. I don't know if he's okay. I don't know what. I threw his phone in his lap as he was leaving. I was just kind of freaked out. They asked me for his insurance card, and I couldn't even think what I did with his wallet. So I actually had to ask an EMT to hold Theus while I located where I put his wallet. And I was just very, very upset. My mom finally arrived, and I packed up my pump and everything I could possibly need because we decided that it would have been best for me not to bring Theus with me. Even though that killed me, but I didn't know the situation that he was in, and if I would have driven all that way with the baby and be told that the baby can't come back there, I don't know what I would have done. So I went and saw him. He was in the ER. They had this big mask on his face that had like a band around his head, and it basically forced air into his, when he inhaled, it just forced it out. So they called emergency dialysis and gave him dialysis 6:30 to 7. I had to leave about 5 a.m. to get home to get the kids off to the bus. I was going to let my oldest son sleep in a little bit just so I could get a little bit of sleep, but I just couldn't sleep, so I got up and got my oldest son off to the bus at about 6:30. Well, I got up at probably 6 to do that and got him off about 6:30. And then other kids left at about 7:30. I did get about 30 minutes of sleep. And 2 of my kids had speech for 8:30. One of them had it for 8:30, one of them had it for 9:30. So my youngest, Emily, she had it for 8:30. So Cameron, who was 12, and I went next door to the hospital to see Daddy. We at that point found out he was in the ICU, and the baby could not come with us. So I left Cameron, who is 12, with the baby in the car seat and my cell phone, and I walked back there to see Darren and to kind of get an update on what was going on. He was in the middle of dialysis, and he was doing better, doing a lot better. He still had the mask on, but he was doing better. They did discuss moving him to a regular room. That did not happen. My mom had gone to work, so I was kind of on my own. I brought Cameron to speech, and then Emma went to school after Cameron finished speech. Then Cameron had therapy, and after his therapy, he went to school. I was going to see if I could find somebody to babysit so I could go up to the hospital, but by 1 o'clock, I was shot. I was dead. I hadn't really slept that night, and so the baby and I just crawled in bed and fell asleep. That evening, my mom had shown up with my grandmother at the house, and they stayed here, and I left the baby. That was so incredibly hard. I packed my pump and I left the baby and went up to the hospital. As I drove off, I was crying in tears because I was missing this little guy so much. I didn't want to leave him. And I just didn't want to leave him and just go. But at the same time, I needed to know that his daddy was okay. And his daddy needed me too. So I left him. We went and we had dinner together. And I think I stayed from 5 to 8. And I pumped while I was up there. And he had gotten 1 bottle while I was up there. So I came home and went to bed, pretty much. We got the kids fed and went to bed. And I had to get up the next morning and get them all to school. Grandma and Mom stayed at the house with us. Grandma was going to babysit for me. It took me a while to leave this little guy again, but I did. I guess about 12:30, 1 o'clock, I finally decided that I was ready to go. And I left plenty bottles that I had pumped for Grandma and the baby. And I went to the hospital, and he was pretty much being ready to be discharged. He was doing much better. He was good. So he was discharged. You know, I was up there for a little while before they discharged him. But they discharged him. And I came home. The baby had had a bottle, and she had fixed him another bottle that he did not drink. So, and he was asleep, so I pumped at that point. Because I had not pumped at the hospital at that time. There was just too much going on. So I pumped, and I think we've been even with our pumping and how much he was eating. So that's really good. He's trying to eat right now. He's kind of a noisy eater. But, let's see, I think he might have a little burp or he might be getting sleepy. But anyhow, so it's been a crazy week so far, and it's been hard to kind of work with what's been going on with Theus and the breastfeeding. But I'm very, very grateful that I have family that has come in and been able to help me. But at the same time, I'm so glad to have my husband home and to have my baby in my arms, and I just don't want to ever leave him. You know, all the sleepless nights and the crying and all the stuff going on. I'm just happy to have him in my arms. And he is going bald back here. I don't know if you can see. And he's also teething really bad. Gumming on my fingers, drooling everywhere. Ordered him some bibs, so it's really great. But just really sweet to have him back in my arms, and I'm just content with that. I will try and get things uploaded and get caught up on all of my videos, but as of now, I just need to spend time with my little baby and my husband and all of my other children. So I really hope that y'all have had a better week than I have. And if anybody has any spare prayers, please send them our way. We can always use the prayers. And we're just going to go and chill, maybe get a little snack when this little guy goes to sleep, which I think he's about to sleep. So we're going to get a little snack. And I will talk to you later. The thing as far as the breastfeeding is, I want to eat things that have a little bit more fat. Maybe I could make a little bit healthier milk for him. I know that avocados has a healthy fat, but I'm not exactly sure what else does, so I'm kind of stumped. I've not always been the healthiest eater, but I'm trying. If you know what are good, healthy foods for breastfeeding moms that can help her make really good milk and stuff like that, please give me a comment below. So I will see y'all for week 14 next week. We're hoping to try and get his 3-month pictures done. We have not really been able to do that, but as always, please subscribe to my channel. Give this video a thumbs up. Please leave me a comment below. and share my video so that other people can find this, and maybe I can help somebody else, or maybe you'll connect two people that'll become friends, or who knows. But anyway, have a fantastic week, and we will see you later. Bye.